Probably just noticed a big clock in the
Buzzing.
corner.
Yeah, the corner
big clock in the
Oh,
corner.
yeah,
Answer is
well, I
what
didn't notice
is.
that. They just said that.
How are we doing?
It says how many Township Planning.
I'm usually sitting in that corner over there, so I guess that's why I wouldn't see it.
Why is it? It says it's live. Is my makeup okay?
It says it's live.
I don't see a picture though. Oh, thank you, Donna. Thank you. I worked really hard
I
today.
didn't wear-
Sorry, my glasses.
Is it blinking? It's on.
It's blinking.
Yeah, it's blinking.
I don't know what.
What that means?
Yeah.
Well, if it records.
At least it's,
It's at
hopefully it
least
doesn't
voices.
blow up.
Yeah, it's our first shot. So, time is now 7:01. I'd like to call this meeting to order. I'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tony, could you take roll, please?
Yep. Hutchins.
Here.
Martin.
Here.
McBride.
Here.
Coster asked to be excused. Grugel.
Here.
Feeney.
Here.
Miskovich.
Here.
Okay, gonna move on to the consent agenda.
Someone will need to make a motion to excuse Courtney.
I'll make a motion to excuse Courtney.
All
A
right,
second.
my apologies. I'm still learning.
You're fine.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Now you can go to the consent.
Okay. Okay. All items listed on our consent agenda are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the Holly Township Park Commission and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion. If discussion is required, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and discussed separately immediately after consent agenda in its normal sequence on the regular agenda. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda and the minutes for July.
Yeah.
Are you making a motion?
I'm making a motion to
support.
accept the consent agenda. And
Who supported? I'm sorry.
And Pat supported.
Okay.
Okay.
All eyes. It's streaming, but
Oh,
there's
yeah, it's
no
streaming.
video.
There's a picture.
Oh, no, there's a picture now.
Yep, there's a picture.
We're good.
I was asked about that though.
You know, to connect my computer to the
I-
screen.
I've never used this.
There's like a little
Go ahead.
contraption there.
say aye.
Consent.
Oh, okay. All approve the consent agenda, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Consent agenda approved. Moving on to the bills for payment after July meeting, August and September. Like to entertain a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Okay, I will second.
All approve? Say aye.
No, roll call.
Oh, roll call for
Yep,
this one?
yep,
Okay,
yep.
roll call.
Anything that involves money.
Lonnie is roll call. Okay.
Martin.
Yes.
McBride.
Yes.
Grugel.
Yes.
Feeney.
Yes.
Miskovich.
I'll abstain. I haven't been here long enough.
Okay. Hutchins.
Yes.
Okay. It's approved, paying the bills. Now we're moving on to the financial statement.
I make a motion to accept the financial statement as written.
Do we have support?
I'm sorry, I'm still.
Oh, that's no problem.
Okay.
Was there a second? Did I miss a second?
I'm still looking.
Okay. So we had to move here to get you to come to meetings?
Huh?
We had to move here to get you to come to meetings?
I just had another meeting over there, so I found out about this one, so, okay, I'll go over there.
Gotcha. I see you're having a tea party, the senior group? Isn't that cool? What day is that?
I'm not for sure.
Okay.
This is true.
Third Thursday of next month.
Let me know.
Third Thursday.
Oh, next month? Oh, I thought you said, oh yeah, it's already, you said October and this is already September.
Okay, do we have support for approving the financial statement?
Support.
Okay, Tony, please take roll.
This one you can just do by, I can do it for, this one is typically just a yes or no, but, because you're not spending money.
Oh,
But-
okay. So or approve the financial statement, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Financial statements approved. Moving on to public comment. Members of the public can address the board once recognized by the chairperson for items on the agenda only. Comments are limited to a maximum of 4 minutes. The board may extend this time by up to an additional 4 minutes by a majority vote. Prior to addressing the board, members of the public shall clearly state their name and address for the record. Do we have public comment for agenda items? Okay. We're gonna move on to old business. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see Mr. Love.
Well, I don't understand, on this agenda, is it the part above the public comment or after the public comment?
If you are.
Anything that's after the public comment.
Anything after the public comment?
If anything that's on the agenda, this would be your chance to talk about. And
About
then
what's
later,
on the
there's a
agenda.
public comment for not on the agenda.
So, what's the status of the new person?
The new
This
person.
is our new,
Pardon?
this is our new,
This is Kurt here.
Okay, but I mean, they haven't introduced him or talked anything about it or anything? I don't see it on the agenda, I was just wondering what the deal is.
Well, this is he was approved by the township board, and today would be his
No,
first
I
day.
understand all that, I'm just saying, it's not on the agenda about the new,
He would talk under board comments.
pardon?
He would talk under board comments about anything that he would want to talk about
There's board comments underneath the public comment.
at the very end.
Do I talk about it then, or what?
Oh, you want to talk about Kurt?
Yeah,
I would say you do that at public comments at the end then.
After new business.
okay, but you didn't introduce him or anything,
My apologies.
that's why I was just wondering what the status was.
This is Kurt Miskovich. He is our new commissioner. He was sworn in by Karen after the township meeting, so.
Okay. Hi,
All right.
Mr. Miskovich, this is John Wood.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're up.
Since they are still
Well,
getting.
so John, do you have anything you want to talk about, he's asking something, he's raising his hand.
Okay, I'm sorry.
what about my letter?
Well,
That would be
that would be under,
after the new business
yeah, that
for
would be-
regular public comment.
right, because it's not on the agenda.
Okay,
Okay.
You're welcome.
thank you.
Since they are still getting the website presentation together, I would like to flip the old business, bring B up to A, and talk about the disc golf course Would anyone be opposed to that? Okay. All
Do
right,
we need a motion?
No.
okay. So, under disc golf course, Tony, I'm gonna have you talk about this since you are the contact person with the Flint Town Flyers.
Right. I have some of it, and some of the other people have stuff that I've asked or that they've agreed to do for me. Benches and trash cans. There's a Boy Scout that's going to do an Eagle Scout project. He wanted to know what he could do on the disc golf course, so I suggested that he put a bench in every other tee and a trash can at every tee, and I assume that he hasn't come to do a presentation yet, but is that something that you guys would be fine with him doing?
Absolutely.
It was my idea. I thought, hey. So that's where we stand with that. Donna has signs for holes.
Yes, I went to Calypso Signs this week, and because I knew the guy, and talked to him about making signs for each of the holes, and I gave you a printout of his ideas, and they're $35 each, which is really reasonable. And I believe, didn't he say he was going to make those out of PVC?
It's going to be a plastic.
Like-
Yeah, they're going to be. Is it okay if I talk?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 12 to 18 inches long by 10 inches wide. You know, he said 12 and I said 18. So we agreed to meet somewhere in the middle. And here's a mock-up of what they'll look like. I asked him if we could put the logo of whatever business was sponsoring it. He thought that would be troublesome simply because smaller logos don't always come out well. So my suggestion would be, so what we would do is, like it says here at the bottom, we would like to thank this whole sponsor, and then it would have their name and phone number, but that we would do a bigger sign up at the top of the hill that we would put everybody's logos on. So that would be additional cost.
Well, that way too, if you changed sponsors on the whole down the way, you don't have to change the one sign.
Well, no, you'd still have to, well, actually, we agreed to design it, it was my idea, so that there, he said, so see where it says Calypso Signs, there would be something that we would just put over top of it.
Okay.
So that, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but like a sticker or something that would go over top of the plastic. And I talked to the guys, they don't have it finished yet, obviously. They'll figure out the length for us, so how many yards it's gonna be between each of the different colors. And, yeah, so it would look something like this. And $35 is a very good
It's
price.
a really good price.
So we're looking at $630 for 18 holes. Do you have an idea in mind about how much each sponsor is going to be paying for a sign?
So that's the other thing we need to kind of discuss tonight is how we want to go about doing that. They thought that $500 would be a Flint Town Flyers thought $500 is pretty typical what you sell the signs for, or they have in the past along the course. So I don't know if there's been suggestions that we try to auction them off, and the highest bidder gets to pick their hole, but that's a whole nother level of work for someone.
Right.
So,
And he was really excited about being a part of making the signs and stuff, and seeing he is in the township.
so his signs, he would give us the signs and they'd have holes in them. We would have to come up with how we're going to put them in the ground. You know, he suggested either wood or
PVC pipe.
PVC pipe or something. And he would help me kind of come up with an idea of how to affix them. But, you know, he said he'll have to keep a file because kids destroy things sometimes.
Right.
Hopefully it won't be a problem. But, and then he said the other nice thing about it is if they change the hole, then we just reprint it and put it on the same post. It'll be like a sticker thing that goes on the plastic, so.
So should we be looking into making the posts more permanent, maybe cementing them in the ground using a post hole digger to?
Well,
Don't
so
get
the
them
problem
down
with
so
cement
far.
and wood is that over time it breaks down, and the wood breaks down. he suggested, actually what he told me he does is he takes the wood signs and he drills lag bolts sticking out of them at different directions, at different heights. And so if you try to pull it, because they're sticking out, you got a lot more resistance to getting that sign out.
Like sticking out from the post.
Mm-hmm.
So
Buried
when
underground.
So when you bury it.
So when you
bury underground.
so you
okay.
bury it underground. Yeah,
I'm just thinking to myself, wow, are you gonna spike somebody?
yeah, no.
Just rusty.
It's the park. We try to be friendly. No, I'm just
Right,
kidding.
right.
No, but so yeah, they're buried under the ground, and so you have different angles and directions under the ground, so it creates a resistance. You just got to make your holes bigger. That's the only problem with it.
I got a quick question. On the bottom of here, it says the logo art must be purchased to be used by any other contractor. What does that mean? Down at the bottom of it?
Oh, we couldn't take this exact setup and just take it to someone else
Somebody else,
to use, because he did the artwork himself.
Okay.
I think he's willing to help with the artwork as far as what the holes, and stuff. Obviously, we don't have sand traps.
It's more or less
We have swamps.
it's more or less a disclaimer for copyright.
Yeah, that's fine. It wasn't quite clear the way it sounded like we had to pay extra for that, so I just wanted.
You might want to turn your mic towards you. There you go.
You were talking about the 500. I was wondering, since we are members of the chamber, if Mr. Kinnaman might be some help on giving us an idea if that's the kind of, what kind of money that he thinks we could possibly get. I wouldn't want to overprice it.
Mm-hmm.
I also wouldn't want to underdo it,
Right.
My dream would be, this town's great. They'll give you, more.
Well,
but,
so he actually said he could probably sell every one of ours without even going to a local business. But
Well, that's I'd
there's
like
so
to see
many.
local
There's 4 or 5 different disc golf companies and other things that we're probably going to look to try to, and we may offer them it for 1,000. See
But
what
they
they
felt
say.
confident though that price.
He felt 500 is probably the best we're gonna get.
Okay.
So-
I just don't want to see us, banging our heads on something that is not really out there.
Well, silly question, but I gotta ask: is there going to be like sponsored for a year, and then we go out and get more sponsors?
Well, that's
or
the
how's this
question.
gonna
How do
work?
you guys want to do that? They don't typically do that. I thought maybe we would do sponsors for 5 years. That's only $100 a year that
Right.
someone's sponsoring.
Sponsor.
Right.
That would definitely be a help on selling.
On selling it,
price,
Yeah.
especially with the smaller business.
So that's what I was thinking too. It gives them some added whatever for it. I mean, the idea is so hopefully the tournament will raise enough to pay for the tees, to pay for the baskets, but they really want to put cement tees in, and so the signs would pay for the tees.
Okay.
Putting this, at least the pro tees in, and then doing future stuff to put in the next set of tees. And, I was talking to him about the rubber mats today that we got from Kensington, and they weigh, Sean knows, they weigh a ton.
Oh yeah.
We're not real sure how we're even going to manage getting them around the park at this point, but so for the tournament they won't be there because the holes aren't all done, but
Couple chains in the 4-wheeler, I would reckon.
yeah, that's what we were talking about, so, or the tractor, whichever.
Hey, Tony, how are we putting the baskets in? Are we cementing those in?
Yes, they will be cemented in,
So why wouldn't we cement the sign, the whole?
because the baskets won't be made of wood. The baskets are made of metal, so you can go ahead and
if we
cement
put it
those.
in with-
So if we put the signs in with some kind of
Metal.
metal, then we could
The
cement
wood's
them
gonna
in.
rot no matter what.
True.
So I'd feel a little bit better if it was a little bit more permanent than just putting lag bolts and sticking in the ground.
So,
That's all,
no, I hear you.
yeah.
We could probably find somebody who's tearing down a fence and maybe getting some.
Well, so we still would have to come up with a way to hook it to anything other than wood, because wood you screw it in. no, but we can figure something out, I'm sure.
Always pop in 4 holes in the sign with 2 C-clamps. So,
So,
Just a drill.
yep.
yeah,
All right.
so what do we want to do as far as starting to sell sign, because we got to get on it.
Right.
Can we go ahead and make it $500 a hole in 5 years?
I think that sounds great to
I
me.
think that sounds great, yeah.
Yeah, it has to be
And going
multiple
with
years.
Calypso, being that there are,
And Flint's gonna, the Flint Flyers, or whatever the heck they're called, they're gonna take care of getting the sponsors for these?
No,
No.
they want us to try it, and then
They want
they'll
us to
help
try
me.
it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's-
because it's much more Holly Pride if it's Holly people who are
No, I agree.
sponsoring it. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, but then we'll approach the disc golf course or disc craft and all of the other disc golf companies.
Okay.
But for 5 years, okay.
And-
Is there a motion for that? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Kurt.
I was just gonna say, when are we looking at getting this done then by?
Well, it's going to be a while, actually. I mean, because they don't even have all 18 holes completed.
Right.
So
so they can't make.
he's saying that he's hoping that how did he tell me? What did he say? After the tournament happens, they're hoping to put in 1 basket a week.
Okay.
So that's 18 weeks there. But they still got to finish.
So how are we gonna roll this out to somebody that we're trying to, we won't have this ready for 18 weeks before we put your sign up there, which is in the middle of winter?
Yeah, you're right. So it's probably going to be spring
I was
before
just gonna
it
say,
really
I
opens.
would present it as, this is going to be springtime next
Springtime.
year.
Spring, but we still, yeah, so, yeah, artwork and stuff, so, okay. Yeah. They may be faster than that, he said, it just depends. The baskets are already there waiting for him. He said, luckily he asked his boss, and his boss said, oh yeah, we only have 27 baskets. And he said, well, I need 18 of those. His boss goes, okay, I have 9 baskets. So, that's
So should I
good.
go ahead and make a motion to use Calypso Sign as our sign maker for the disc golf course? The signs to be sold for $500 for 5
$500.
years display.
I second that.
Okay, hang on, Martin. That's a money one, so. McBride?
Second it.
No, you have to say yes or no.
Oh, yes.
Grugel,
Yes.
Feeney,
Yes.
Miskovich,
Yeah.
Hutchins,
Yep.
and Martin.
Yes.
You guys are gonna make me laugh.
Do we have you heard anything of what they've done registration wise for St.
I'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
So next is donation box, which is you, Joe.
This is a 50 caliber ammo box, World War II. This one here I made special, that was for carrying concealed weapons. Before you come up with concealed weapon law, you had to separate your ammunition and not make it readily available. So I locked my gun in here, put a lock on it, throw it in the back of the truck. So I put a hasp on these. They got a gasket on them. They're waterproof. They're a good thing to have around. They run about $25 a box now, but I'm going to a gun show here in September, antique arms show, and maybe I can get a reduced rate. Tony was thinking about 3 boxes. So it's not bulletproof, but it's a deterrent. You know, I don't know if you guys want to mount them on a building or what, but I went and talked to Brian Clausen at DPW, and I get to pick his junk pile. And he has a lot of nice pipe down there. So if we want pipe for signs or for these boxes, I always suggest to put a box like on the building up at the ball field. And put a sign up there, donations, that way it's out of the weather.
Right.
And maybe one at center, or nature center, and I don't know about the other box.
I think that was for the beach.
So yeah, the idea was to put one at the beach, one at the start of the disc golf course, which kind of takes the pavilion out of it, just simply because they're going to be start at the top of that hill there. They're going to be like, maybe we could put it on the back of that bench that's up there. Even there's a bench right at the top of the hill there. But anyways, the idea was to ask them to donate to the upkeep of the course.
And when I make a hole in this box, I put a slit in here and I put a rain shield over it.
Yeah.
But this thing isn't that great bulletproof. I mean, it just keeps the honest people honest, but yeah, it's a deterrent. And that's about, they start smaller than this, then they work their way up to giant ones.
Yeah.
And those would be emptied every night, or at least looked at every night?
Except for like weekends when if there's no one there, yeah.
So we can put these on post, because I asked Brian if I could look at this junk pile. And,
I mean, if someone steals it, they steal it. But unfortunately, you know, it's the only way we're really going to be able to collect from the golf course at
and
this
the easiest
moment.
way to mount this on a post is to drill a post, put a 1/4-20 thread in it,
Yeah.
put bolts in it, and do the same thing with the signs. Yeah. So it isn't that hard. We can prefab them at a certain dimension for signs and a certain dimension for the boxes. You know, they'll all be the same. So yeah, the bolts won't be exposed. At least in these boxes, will be only from the inside.
Would it be a good idea to consider signing for the boxes as well? When
Yeah,
we're making
yeah,
the
definitely.
sign for the-
Well, I'm not sure that. I mean, we could talk to Calypso, or there's places you can get them done really quick, really cheap. So
Right,
yeah,
but it would be consistent to the same look, the same
Yeah,
type
I
of sign.
think it's a good idea.
it wouldn't be the same big. It would be much smaller or something. But yeah,
But
yeah.
the same artwork-ish,
Well, if we gotta go to same artwork, then we have to go with Calypso, because
right,
this is
Yeah,
it's
you know,
copyrighted.
kind of
But
copyrighted,
I just
so.
think that would be a nice,
Yeah, it would be,
Flow.
that way there's no confusion on
professional.
what it's
What it's for, yeah.
Right.
So the donation boxes will probably run $30.
So is there one that's just a little bit bigger than that,
No, it's much
no,
bigger.
they
or
go
is it
to-
much bigger?
It's much bigger.
It's about twice the size of this, because you go to 60 millimeter,
Okay.
Yeah.
then you go to big stuff.
You don't, you also don't wanna get to the point where you're attracting from a distance
Yeah.
away
Yeah.
either. It's kinda
True.
like, oh, what's that, you know?
Okay. So,
So I make a
Enter-
motion to okay the donation boxes and have Joe pick up what he can as cheap as possible.
The pipe is free. I like that.
I like
We're
that
gonna
word.
help the village repurpose some scrap.
and we'll get the good locks. We'll get the locks like they use on
The big round ones.
you know, the round ones
Yep.
that they
So
use on
they have
people
to burn
use
them off, yeah.
on
Storage.
storage lockers.
Yeah.
Because you can take a master lock, a regular good master lock, if you know how to hit that just right, she'll pop.
I know, I ran a storage unit
Yeah.
for 14 years, I know. Yeah,
so did you make the motion?
yes, I
for
made the motion.
For the boxes?
For the
I'll second
boxes.
the motion to install the 3 boxes, 2 at Sorensen and 1 at the beach.
Go ahead, take roll.
Probably, I guess, because he's going to spend money.
Right.
So, all right. Grugel,
Yes.
Feeney,
Yes.
Miskovich,
Yes.
Hutchins.
I probably should abstain since I'm gonna spend the money.
No, because you're not spending it on yourself, are you? Martin
Yes.
and McBride.
Yes.
Well, I got assembly of these in,
If you come home with tickets to Tahiti,
yeah.
We're gonna know.
Okay. That passes. We're gonna have to go on to tournaments.
all right. So here's the real exciting news. The tournament is sitting at 90 plus people right now, which is
Wow.
and they're expecting at least 100, maybe 120. So it's They said their average tournament is 70 people. Their average fundraising tournament is 70 people.
Wow.
So one of the other guys is upset because he's running a tournament somewhere else close and he only has 24. So that tells you everybody's coming to ours. So I have been working out there with them, day and night, I think. I'm moving wood chips so they can spread the wood chips around where the baskets will be. There'll be temporary baskets for the shootout. But they'll have 11 holes completed. The other 7, they still have to finish up too much work to get them done by themselves. Basically, I want you guys to know this has been 2 guys. 90% of the work out there has been done by 2 guys. Today there were 8 guys out there, so they finally got more people out. But it's exciting. So
What was the participation, Tony, when we had the work day?
there were 18, I believe.
Okay,
So
It was a good
some
crowd
people
out
showed
there
up,
for it,
good.
yeah.
yeah.
Thanks for that.
So, and so I would like to run some future tournaments. If we get this done by winter, I want to run a winter tournament out there. There's not as many of them. And they've already asked, they're in charge of a bunch of tournaments like the junior PWGA or something like that. And it's out at Hollywood's. So next year they would like to do it at Hollywood's and at Sorensen, so they can increase the number of people in the tournament. They'll pay us like $5 per tournament entry, and our park would be closed both Saturday and Sunday because they'll have the tournament going on. So,
Okay. All right, and future equipment needs.
so I was just someone asked me this question, so I decided to put it on here. Because we're going to have to maintain this, obviously. And I think we need to start thinking about how we can fundraise and stuff enough money to buy ourselves basically a gator, not necessarily a John Deere gator. Do you guys know what a gator is? 2 people can sit up front. The back seat is or the back is a dump. Something that we'll be able to get across the bridges, and so that because taking the tractor and hauling wood chips with it is all good and well and good, except for it'd be much faster in a gator and much easier. We're going to have to look at emptying trash cans. So we're going to need something that we can throw the trash bags in as we run the course, every other day or something, stuff like that. So,
Question, when you're talking about equipment, we were out there and they were questioning because of the bridge getting across the creek and that. Is that something that we should be looking at, maybe improving on too? Or,
They're
are we
looking-
having it on our list to improve?
they're actually looking at it themselves too.
Are they? Okay.
They're coming up with some ideas for me. That's one of their projects they want to work on this winter. I went back there and dumped a bunch of wood chips on. I can't get across, so I dumped a bunch on our side, or I should say, they're both our sides. The side closest to the nature center, to try to take that pitch out a little. When the Boy Scouts rebuilt it, they made it wider, so still not wide enough.
Right.
But they made the pitch super steep. So yeah, we do need to look at kind of figuring out how we're gonna cross the river.
Right.
So
One more question came to mind, Tony. Should there be a consideration at this point for adding a staff member or somebody to help with the maintenance of this?
at some point,
Trash,
they say that basically a lot of it is going to be. I mean, we're going to have to figure out for a way to pay for that person. They say a lot of it gets done by the people using the course. Like, people will pick up trash and throw it away. People will pick up sticks and throw them to the sides. People will, come out and do some work. They have no intention of walking away from this course. They, the one guy, Dave, lives in Holly. So he's super excited about this course. He's one of the two that's out there all the time. Alan's the other one. So at some point, yeah, we're going to have to look at needing someone else for maintenance and stuff, or increasing our maintenance person's time.
So you're gonna get, quotes on this gator?
Well, it's kind of a dream, but yeah, I didn't have a chance to get it done before now because I was going to do it, but I decided that working on the course was more of a priority since the tournament is Saturday. I'll come to the next meeting with some quotes on costs. I mean, I would suggest we probably can look at a used one. But, I mean, I was at Home Depot and they're $9,000 at Home Depot. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not for, that's a,
And that's a way off brand.
yeah, way off brand that usually doesn't make it. I'll suggest one thing. I'll let you guys use my ATV trailer. It's still up at the farm up north. I ran into the same thing. The Kawasaki quad we got will pull 1320 off the rear hitch if you can get traction. It's 1,320 pounds off the hitch. So back when I was using my quads up north, I made rototillers for them, gas rototillers, chisels, discs, everything else. I made a trailer because I couldn't buy one. So I fabbed the trailer. And I've hauled 1,000 pounds of trees in it. And it's not much wider. It's a bit wider than my quad. But what I can do is when I get a chance to get up north to bring it down, we can use that for patrolling behind the quad, throwing trash in, chips, anything else, tools. Because it's just sitting up there on the farm right now, not doing nothing.
Can we go get it tomorrow?
Yeah, let's go tonight. Get some road beers and go.
I have available time between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. Would I do it?
What I would suggest, Tony, is getting you a wish list together, and
Right.
we can, maybe by the next fiscal year, we can see what we can grant. So.
Yeah.
Work ATVs right now are really hot, the work ones. And you can get them with or without a dump box. You can get a standard box that doesn't dump because there's not much really easier to get out with a shovel than it is to dump it. But you're looking at 15 grand.
Yeah.
For a brand name, Kawasaki, Polaris, John Deere, because everybody's running them now. Everybody wants a side-by-side or a four-person.
Right.
I did have a kind of a thought. When I was out there on that Saturday, I noticed a lot of people were doing the same whacking as I doused myself in off, and that seemed to have done the trick on that. Do they find that a lot of the golfers bring their own stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Do they? Okay, because I was just curious, because if you're going to have a tournament...
I will have it up there on
Saturday.
Saturday. I have a couple cans left over from the township.
What
so.
I was thinking was if we
Oh,
had a
selling
tournament
it?
or something, if hey...
You can always sell it, yeah.
Like concessions.
Yeah.
Sell it.
Yeah.
They weren't bad this afternoon. I was out there and saw Tony and stuff. They didn't seem too bad.
They were bad earlier in the day, and the tournament's going to start at 8:30, 9 o'clock. So,
And I think you would probably have
I
some
mean,
parties, so
I would show you all my mosquito and stuff scars, but I now wear pants and long sleeves a lot.
George, is there any more of the bug spray available?
No, this year, typically, we have stuff left over. We went through all of the leftovers from last year, plus all of this year's.
Yeah, it was a buggy year.
It was a bad year.
Sure was.
Well, I hope
Yeah.
we'll win. That seems to
For sure.
Well, let's go ahead and get back to this golf
One
course.
more question. Are you gonna try selling anything that was left over from the beach?
Yeah,
at the
all
tournament
of
this-
the water and pop and candy and stuff we're gonna have out there and sell. I'm looking for a really cute girl to drive around on the quad and sell stuff out on the things.
I might know one. Just know one of those.
Or I told Brad he has to dress up and
That would be interesting.
Okay.
just
All right.
kidding. I
So
love
moving
Brad.
away from B, let's go back to A, and let's go to Mr. Feeney with your website presentation.
Rob, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. My name's Rob. I'm from Revised Government Website, so I'll be doing a quick presentation overviewing a few different website options for you guys. Orion Township, your neighbors, working with us for their website, as well as a lot of different Parks and Rec departments across the country. So,
Can
What was your
someone
company?
move your? Well, here.
Me? Me?
Oh, there you go.
oh, there we go.
What was your company's name?
Revise, R-E-V-I-Z.
Hang
How's
on,
it
let me
again?
get this
Sorry.
back down.
Revise.
R-E-V-I-Z.
Yep, Z-E. Yep. Can you guys hear me okay? Oh, wow, there we go. Amplified, I like it. Well, thanks everybody for giving me some time today. I won't take too long, but just kind of want to go through what you guys could be doing and with your websites. I know you were talking about this disc golf course that's being built now. And I mean, the number one thing that comes to my head when you guys talk about this is put it on the front page of the website. Currently, you guys using social media right now for giving information and stuff like that? Okay. So you could put your website, the new, say, hey, there's a post on Facebook, look at our brand new website, and use the website as the tool to communicate everything for signing up for the course fundraiser, for other things that people can sign up for, whether it's softball or any type of municipal league you guys have going on here. That you can have everything right on the site. We have solutions to allow people to sign up for items and different initiatives you have going on in the township. So I'll kind of show you some of our solutions for signing up, form solutions. We also have reservation applications for reserving park shelters, reserving anything that essentially a resident can reserve. So first I'll start with just the aesthetic look and feel. This is a custom design in Orion Township for their Parks and Rec department. The township itself is also our client. And so they have a nice navigation up top. They have a lot of content that they wanted to organize, so we built them a customized design. When I say customized, there's no other website that looks like this site out there. So this is built from scratch. We didn't copy anything from any other sites we saw. We use other sites as possibly inspiration for adding some ideas and cool features, but all their info, we ported it over, and we wanted to make sure that we show the information in a nice way and make it easy for them to find right off the bat. So as you can see here, right from the start, you see explore activities, special events, pops up, youth leagues, youth programs, anything you guys want to display and promote for people to be able to sign up, we'd have a section for that. You also have an event center, obviously really important for upcoming events, obviously the shootout, any other events you guys have coming up that you want to make sure people know about. You can go to the full calendar. Residents can also subscribe to the calendar, so if they want to subscribe for any events going on, board meetings, other events, looks like they have a blood drive going on here in Orion Township Parks. So whatever you want to put on the calendar you can, and people can subscribe. For the meeting, for example, say you click on this event, it says Euchre Tournament, you can actually put the agenda or any other types of forms inside the calendar tile itself. So we just really be able to get more information out to your residents on what you're currently doing. Because right now, you have a website that is side navigation, and a lot of this stuff just doesn't make sense. There's something that says new page here. So we'd really clean all this up and give you a nice homepage. With a welcome center, right now it's kind of ambiguous, just a picture of a kid on the floaty. So we'd be able to give you, in addition to the images, somewhere for people to focus on, an area for people to look for information, signing up for rec classes, anything you can think of. So that's just one homepage here in Orion Township. We'll finish up and show you the rest of the site. And we also have template designs as well that are not fully quote-unquote custom built. Those are lower costs, so if you wanted to use a template design, we can essentially do all the things you can do with a custom using a template, but it's just not as customized to your needs and your look and feel. But most of the time, Parks and Rec departments do go with a custom, but sometimes the budget might not be there, so we have a solution either way to meet your needs. An important notices section, and then a footer at the bottom, contact us, phone number, all the relevant contact info, hours of operation, all the info you need. Here is aside from a park site, this is not necessarily a park site. I just like this template layout. This is a wastewater authority in Wisconsin, I think, but I like the look of this. And we could do the same types of features that you guys see on the Orion Township Parks and Rec, but we could change the content, customize your quick links to have everything you need to have on the home page for people to be able to sign up for different events and activities and programs. So either way, whether you want a customized design or a template-based design, we have a solution for you guys. You can easily organize your agendas and minutes as well as obviously provide sign-up forms and solutions for people to register for different programs. To show you guys a little bit about what I'm talking about, we're going to start by going into our forms application and showing you the bookable feature and sign up for forms. So this is a nice app that you can manage any type of form submission, whether it's for softball or whether it's a city permit or something. It can be anything. So we have different forms. I'm just going to show a job application for now, but you could use this for anything. Anything that is available for sign up for residents instead of using a Google form or something, or whatever you guys are using now, you can manage everything using our application and track it and be notified at different times. Everybody on the board could be notified if you wanted to be, or if you don't want to, no problem. You can always have a username and password for the system. Every employee of the Parks and Rec Department can have access to this system and build forms and process them. You can also link payments. So say people want to pay for a reservation or pay for a program that they're signing up for, or I'm assuming there's some type of costs for this shootout thing, so you can have a payment system linked into the form and have everything done all in one shot. So say, for example, someone submitted a form, everything's categorized right here, so we have dog licenses, all these different categories, as you can see, for each relevant form. We'll just go to the dog licenses for now. You can take each item and look at each one that's been filled out. These are just test forms, so as you can see, someone just wrote their name and some gibberish, but you get the idea. You can see the initial info about the submission, so the attachment that was uploaded with the form, the initial person that was filling out the form. You can press print it off, obviously look at the full filled out form here. The red field means you have to fill that field out in order to submit the form. And under here in the history section, you can add comments and change categories, change status of each specific item that was submitted. So down here and under update submission, you can change the status to whatever you'd like, all these different categories, and you can add comments. So if you want to communicate with that resident that submitted the softball sign-up form, hey, you forgot to fill in this or whatever, you can add a comment. You can either make the comment public and send them that comment, or if you have an email that you want to send them, we have preset email templates here that you can use as well, and you can customize each of those per form. So that's kind of how you'd process a form, and then to build one, very easy to do. I'm just going to click build on this test form. And we'll start by throwing in a few fields. But first actually throw in a text box. I can add a quick logo, press my picture button. Everything that you will be using from us is very easy to learn, to use. Training is free. We never charge additionally for training. You would just pay for the website and the services per year, but everything would be included as a complimentary service. So if you ever need new people to be trained, or if you need tech support, it's always unlimited. You can get in touch with us 24/7. We're also local. We're based in Troy, so not too far. I personally, live pretty close. I would be the dedicated account manager. You can always get in touch with us, whether there's something pressing with the website or for some reason something's not working properly. You can get in touch with support 24/7. So I'm making just a simple logo right now, then I'll add in a quick row, and then I'll just drag in different fields to start building my form. But we can make a softball sign-up form in a matter of 30 seconds to a minute, and then make every field required, so you can make sure they fill out those fields when they submit the form. And you just keep dragging in different fields here in a row to add in new fields. So pretty straightforward. And for the bookables portion, so obviously the forms, we could use forms for a lot of different reasons and things you guys have available to your residents. And for the bookables, it's tied into a form as well. So say you have your parks, I'm assuming, are there some reservable parks here, pavilions, shelters? Okay. So for now we have shelters here. Actually, that one hasn't been built yet. That's just a placeholder. Here we go. Conference rooms. This is just an example mock-up, conference room center. All your park shelters could be listed here. You can have each one showing to the resident. Now the edit button is not available to the resident, just view is available. So they would view the reservation based on the day and availability that you've set in the back end of the system. So say we wanted to reserve on the 14th. I've set 4-hour time increments, so you use it for 4 hours, do 9 a.m., confirm, and then they just fill out their information here in the form. Really easy, really quick, and then you can easily manage everything. And one of the best parts about it is it's mobile friendly, so you can do all this from your cell phone. You can edit from your cell phone, You can reserve something on your cell phone. A residents can do everything on their cell phone. Most of the time, they're on their phone anyway, you know, so want to make that easy for them. Also, the site itself is mobile friendly, so say we're on Orion Township Parks, and feel free to take a look on your cell phones as well in your free time, but as you can see, it looks really nice, fits properly. Registers right here, and that one, they have a special site that they link out to, but same type of thing. You can really get everything you need to right from the homepage on your cell phone in a matter of seconds. So now if we go back just to show you what you can customize in this system for reserving. So say I click edit on conference room A, I can change the description of the bookable item. I can add whatever info I want to, and change the images obviously, change the availability. So here if I wanted to change that to an hour and then make it, you know, maybe some different days, change the availability. So like, that's the 7th, that's in the past. Let's do the 15th. We can change the time, or we can just turn it off so the 15th won't be available. So we can really change and customize everything we want to. So I think this would be real beneficial for you guys. So I save that so I can go back and reserve and be on my way. But that's kind of how you make a reservation. And then making edits on your website is really easy as well. So say you wanted to put the agenda on the home page, or maybe make an event on the website, like board meeting, for example. I'm going to make sure I'm logged in. What the heck? There we go. Okay, so I'll go ahead and click Add New Event. Oh, okay, so this one's not optimized. I got to use a different site. This is a demo site, so some features are turned on, some are turned off. So I just have to use a different. Here we go. And this is actually another template website layout. So if you didn't want to go with the customized design, you can still have a really nice looking website with a cool video playing. This is Pictured Rocks video I found. Put your events and your news right on the home page. Could put a picture of you guys all up on the home page. They're gonna want that. No, I'm just kidding. Or you could put a picture of kids playing or whatever, you know, but you get the idea. So a little welcome center there. Social media quick links. So we'll go to that calendar. I have to log in here really quick. But everybody can have a username and password. Or if you want one, you can have one. If you don't need to have one. But here we'll do add new event. Is this just a one-time a month meeting? Okay. So it was it the second Wednesday of every month? Okay. Cool. So we can recur this for the rest of the year. We'll say test board meeting. Location, we'll do Holly. What is this? Well, we'll do Holly Township Parks and Recreation Commission. And then we'll do a location. Yeah. I'm just going to pull up the address I used. Put your location here. Grab that link. This is doing extra stuff. I don't need to do this if I don't want to, but it's just fun. To have the Google Maps listed there, we'll do a start date as today, and we'll change the time to, what was it, 7? So 7 p.m. End date today, what, 9? Well, we're hopefully as quick as possible, I'm assuming. Everybody wants to get out. We'll do today, perfect. So now we're ready to go. And then we can repeat this if we want, or just do a singular event. So here we'll do monthly on the second Wednesday. Indefinitely, we can repeat that, or we can do it until the, I'm just going to do to the end of the year. And then we pick our calendar. So you can have multiple calendars that all roll into one. So this one's the board meeting calendar, and they've already set a different color. So there's different colors for each type of calendar. And then here I'm just going to say test test details, and then I'll do, actually, instead of that, I'll say test details, and then underneath that, I'll do agenda. So you guys can put your meeting agenda right on the calendar. And also have a quick link. And we have an agenda and minute center as well. So in addition to being able to put this on a calendar event, you can also put it in the actual meeting and minutes and agenda center. So here we'll just upload a quick agenda. I can either grab from my computer by clicking choose file, or I can grab from the repository here. I've already uploaded an agenda before, so I'll just grab this one. Real important to put in a description of what you're uploading. This is for ADA compliance, so folks that are hard of vision in Holly Township can have these terms read aloud to them. So say there's someone that can't see very well and they're using a screen reader to read terms aloud on a page. If this was a bunch of gibberish, or if say it was this picture that has like a bunch of numbers and stuff, that wouldn't be compliant, that would be confusing for the resident, and so that would cause an issue. So we'll just go ahead and save this with this simple description and continue, and we're ready to go. Oops, I forgot to set. Oops, I excluded, that was the wrong. You can also exclude dates. There we go. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and save this. And so here on the 8th, there's our meeting. There's our agenda. There's our location. Click on the agenda, and there's our document here. So pretty straightforward and really easy to do, but also gives you guys a lot of things that you currently don't have right now that you really would be able to benefit from. And whether you want to spend a decent amount of money or a small amount, it really just depends what you like and what you think you guys need. I think you could benefit from either option, especially because it would be mobile friendly. The biggest thing with your current site, not mobile friendly. So you can see how tiny it is. I can't even zoom on this simulator. But people are trying to visit this site on a cell phone. They're not having a very good time, So it's something I think needs to be done at some points. Obviously, you guys, can figure out when would be best for you. But so this is something that we could do very quickly or over a few months, depending on if you wanted to go with the custom or the template option. So what I can do next is send over pricing to Patrick, and he can share it with everybody. And then, you guys discuss, and, we'll go from there. I think it would be a good idea to kind of get the ball rolling on this. And George and I have been talking as well for a while, past couple of years actually, back and forth about a website for the township as well. So, he's trying to figure out a good time for me to come do the same thing over at the township. So, thanks for everyone for giving me the opportunity to come and kind of show you guys everything, and I would hope to work with you folks, if you would get the opportunity once I send over pricing and you discuss, and I guess we'll go from here. Thanks everybody for your time.
Thank
you. Thank you.
Very, very interesting. I know Joe's excited. Most of all.
Oh, here you go.
Can I steal it back?
I'll leave my info with Patrick, and he can give it to anybody else as well. Email, phone number, if you have any questions.
So essentially, you set it up, and then Tony or whoever redeemed the webmaster, so to speak, they're the ones that upload it. Nothing else goes for you. You just set it up and maintain it.
You can if you want us to, but for the most part, most of our clients, it takes them like 30 seconds to upload an agenda or make a calendar event. So yeah, everyone usually just does the edits on their own. You could have a username, she could have one, anyone could have one. So you'd all add it really quickly and that's it. But if you did want us to provide that service, we can. It's just an additional service. But yeah.
What do you do? So anybody who has a user ID and password can post stuff on the webpage then?
As
do they have
content
to be
manager.
accepted or rejected by certain people?
You have to be essentially set up with a username, and you have to be working with the township. So you could have a username, but someone cannot just make an account and start editing on the website. It has to be done by either us here at Revise or an assistant administrator on your end. So say this gentleman here wants to be the assistant administrator, he can add users as much as he wants, set permissions, set roles. So it's all controlled by you guys.
Okay.
Nice.
So there's different permissions involved.
You guys, yep. And so no resident can actually have access to editing the website whatsoever. They can just subscribe to like the calendar, they can subscribe to notifications. I forgot to show one thing. It's called e-notify. So if you want them to be notified about the upcoming meeting, or if they want to sign up for, hey, the softball team just started, signups, they can be notified when that is posted to the website. So, and everything's categorized on this specific one, but you'll see that it's just general, and you have a homepage alert that you can put on the homepage too. So like, real quick, on this template website here, there's one at the top. You can click on that and look at more info. They can subscribe to that, COVID info, whatever you want, and it's obviously categorized here. So you guys wouldn't have as many, but you'd have one, and then whenever they upload agendas and minutes, they can be sent a message that's saying, hey, this has been uploaded to the website, and click the link for more info.
Where's the information stored in? Is it stored here, or is it stored with you?
It's on our servers, yeah.
It's on your servers,
Yeah, it's on our
so
servers.
those are backed up and everything.
Yeah, we use Amazon Web Services for all of our servers, so we don't have to worry about downtime, no data corruption, no security breaches. We haven't ever really had a security breach in our company history, and we really just rely on Amazon Web Services for all the servers here, so you're not gonna have to worry about any security vulnerabilities whatsoever. We've also been in business for 25 years, so we have a lot of experience working with folks just like yourselves. Townships, we work with governments specifically to make websites. We actually primarily work with governments, obviously departments of those governments. So Orient Township, just to show you, I know they're a neighbor, so I keep mentioning them. Plus, I know the people over there, they're really nice. But here's their township site, just to show this one. Social media feed too, but yeah. So that's just a few different designs, but I think you guys would definitely benefit from this. Yes, you can control who lets the website and who doesn't. All that stuff. Any other questions? Again, if anyone needs to reach out to me, I'll leave my information with Patrick.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Open up your world.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
All right, we're going to move on to, well, it's listed under B, but it's actually C. It would be the football equipment. And, yeah, I just noticed that myself. So I'm going to go ahead and, Tony. Well, I was going to do Patrick, but I know Tony had more of her hands in this one, so.
Well, we finally have been able to complete the sale of the equipment to the Stampede. We sold them all of our pads, our helmets, and the tackle dummies and that type of things for $2,500.
Okay.
So, and they, I wouldn't say I insisted. I strongly asked that they allow us to be able to use any of, like the tackle dummies and that kind of stuff if we're going to run some type of clinic or something where we might want to use that type of equipment. And they agreed as long as they're not using it, we can use it for the lifetime of the equipment.
Did you guys do a letter like you guys were talking?
It's in writing and it's been notarized, so.
Perfect. Okay. Any questions on that? No. Okay, let's move on to holidays. That's what, this Saturday, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I know we got the disc golf tournament happening at what, 8:30 Saturday?
I think it's I think it's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Well, 8 to 8:30. I think they were like I said, they were originally going to do a shotgun start, and if you play golf, that means they just put people out at different holes and everybody starts same time. They're trying to figure out how they're going to do it with the number of people they have. So,
Yeah, 90's
but
quite a bit.
I expect that I'm going to be there from like 5 a.m. until I don't know what time.
Are the Flint Town Flyers helping out with that event, or are you going to?
Oh yeah, no, they're no.
Are we also doing anything at Crapo Park?
Yes. So I need someone that's going to have to be able to transport the basket. Sorry, thank you. The basket and down there and back to Sorensen. I can put it in our I guess I can empty my truck out so I can use my truck for the day and I can put it in our truck, but like if Donna does it, she's gonna need someone to help her get the basket down and stuff and get it set up, so.
Yeah, I'll be there as long as it's
What?
from noon until 4, and I'll be there, but it would be nice if somebody else would come in and kind of.
I'll help you out, and I'll be there.
A little bit, or.
I was gonna say I can help you. I got a eating contest to set up at once.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll be there.
So who's gonna pick it up? I mean, who can help her pick it up, or, I don't know if they're gonna give you one that comes in pieces and you put it together, or if they're gonna put it together and it'll have to go in the truck. I haven't totally worked that out with them yet. I think they,
Will it fit into a back of the truck? I might do it.
yeah.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, because it's not going to fit in my cruise. So.
I'll make it fit. Do you have a sunroof? I'm just kidding.
I guess I will have, yeah. But I'll be there. What time do you see you're going to get there?
It's from noon till 4. I
Well,
think.
but, so you're gonna have to get
So
there,
I'll be there before the parade
Yeah, I was just gonna say, the parade starts at 11.
at 11,
so-
so I'll be there probably about 11.
so you'll have to come pick it up from me out at Sorensen.
Okay, I'll see what I can do. I'll get the truck.
Well, I can, like I said, I can empty out the back of my truck, I guess. I'll just have to make a trip to the storage depot.
Could you let Donna know if it is gonna be in pieces, cause that could be.
Yeah,
It might-
Yeah.
It might take a little bit longer
But
if
just
you gotta put it together.
I'll talk to the guy. I should see, hopefully I'll see him tomorrow. I mean, I have to umpire tomorrow, so, hopefully I'll see him, so.
Okay. I'll be there probably after the parade.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right, we're going to move on to new business. And this will be Mr. Hutchins for a Village Rocks.
I'm on the village parks board, and they're doing a lot of work with Waterworks Park. They took down an old split rail fence that finally fell apart, and they wanted to do something down there that kind of is aesthetic to nature more than that. We have a rock dump up by the sled hill, and there's good sized rocks there, that big. That was a gravel pit at one time, and when they contoured it, they dumped the rocks in a gulch. That's why I call it the rock dump, and that's what they're looking for. Is they want to delineate a parking area, and the best thing to do is put up these rocks so it's aesthetic instead of, you know, the old split rail fence is maintenance, and they don't want to put up anything else, you know. And I asked them if they'd like to do some rocks, and they said sure. So I've talked to our board. So these rocks were dumped when they were contouring the whole ball fields and stuff. So it's up to you guys if you want to. They'll move the rocks because we don't have a big enough loader. Our tractor only lifts just less than a ton on a good day, so she's down to about half a ton. In DPW, we come in and move them rocks and move them down to Waterworks Park if the board's in agreement.
How are they gonna move it out of there?
They got big front end loaders and backhoes.
So is this gonna cause any problems with the disc golf courses,
No.
right?
No, they go
What
around
you-
the other
What
way.
you do is you come down to the brush pile, and there's a trail. You look up and you see the sled hill.
Yeah.
If you look to the right, the
Yeah,
gulch
there's another
goes up
trail.
there and it's mowed up into there, so they'll take equipment up in there. And if they have to, they got connections with bigger loaders.
Is
My
that
own-
gonna cause any problems with erosion or anything, with removing those rocks out of there?
No, because they're all sitting on top of the ground.
Oh, okay.
This is a rock dump.
Okay.
And we also have one that's right, the frost is pushing it up every year, it's by the lower ball field. And I've never rotted it, but I think she's a big one, and we don't have a backhoe, so with them guys, we say, hey, you gonna pick up rocks, get that one too, and they'll take some dirt and backfill a hole, and as you come in the entrance to the left, there's two good sized rocks in the brush in there too, that nobody wanted to move.
Do we want somebody to supervise them, make sure they're not going off where we don't want them to? or anything
Yeah, I
like
would
that?
rather leave those two where they are.
You wanna leave those?
And my other question is, can we get them to move two big rocks into two spots that are currently being used to enter our property from our neighbor's property?
Anything's negotiable, because the village is, it's in-kind services, you know, we give them some rocks, they do this, they do that, you know.
Speaking of that, I didn't know about moving the rocks, but Tony, you were saying we had some dirt that you thought you could use out at the beach? I'm thinking if they're in motion, we're giving them rocks, could they take some dirt and dump it at the beach for us?
Well, the biggest thing, we looked at back where the roots are, by the one pavilion,
Mhm.
the easiest way to do that is to take some of the fence down, come in from the parking lot, because otherwise it'll tear up all the grass with front end loaders and loaders. So, that fence needs to be repaired, because a tree fell on it, but we could take the fence down or make it an access in there, and we need about that much dirt back in there. We just gotta watch how much chips we put in it, and we're also backfilling with sand. And sand isn't too good a base, but it'd be a good drainage base, but
Right.
anything else that moves.
Well, if you found some dirt, that would be kind of
We
nice.
have, we have the chip piles that are ancient chip
Yeah,
piles
the
back
old
in
ones
there.
in the back.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know if we can do that now or towards the winter more, when the ground's firm. You know.
Again, at this time, nobody's there, so it's, you know. it
But
gets-
so I would think, yeah, we'd need to have to make some kind of agreement where,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Didn't do
they,
it.
they were able to get our rocks if
Yeah.
they would
In-kind service.
do the following,
Yeah,
so that,
and I will get Mr. Clausen to discuss that with you, because you're administrative.
Thank you.
We just need the okay to get rid of some big rocks.
I say we give the okay, make a motion that we give them the rocks to the village. How's that?
I second, they can have the rock,
Oh, and let Tony negotiate for getting some dirt too, if we can.
or everything else, yeah.
All in support?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, give them rocks. Okay, moving on to USFWS grant permission forms.
United States Fish and Wildlife Services grant. Sue Julian administers a huge grant from them, and she approached me about they would come in and they would clear up along the edge of the Shiawassee River that's on our property to make it better wildlife habitat for turtles and some snakes. But Sue said mainly turtles because that's kind of what's in that area. And then this winter they would come in and do a prescribed burn in the back of the park. Once again, hoping to bring back some get rid of some invasive species and bring back some more of our native species. And when they do a prescribed burn, because I was like, well, we're going to have disc golf courses back there now and stuff. And she said, well, they walk around and they do it by heat, Okay, we're going to burn here. Yep, we're going to burn here. So I told her I'd bring it to you guys. I think it's an excellent way for us to get some work done in our park for free.
Yeah. Also, we did a burn before for the purple lupins, didn't we?
Yeah, that's part of what it would be bringing back in there, hopefully, is some
So
lupins.
we've been this before.
Yep.
When
So-
you say invasive species, what kind are you talking about?
Well,
Falls out.
all kinds.
Yeah,
I
a
mean,
lot of vines.
A lot of vines.
Yeah, with the
Okay.
disc golf,
The
we come
thorns
across
and
a lot of
whatnot, okay.
vines and-
but a lot of
Right.
Multiple floral roses. The ones with the
Say
pictures
that
on
10
them.
times.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when you're back with that disc golf.
Autumn olive,
That was all.
Okay. And
So
did the Girl Scouts ever build that bee habitat back there?
the bee habitat has not been done yet. Everything else has been done. The picnic tables and stuff are in there. I think they were discussing they wanted to move the bee habitat back to the front of the park, but I said not across from my office because I'm allergic to them.
Right.
So they haven't finished the bee part, no.
Okay, I just want to make sure because
Yeah.
bees and smoke. Okay.
So
So you want to entertain?
Do you need permission?
yeah, so I need permission from you so I can sign the contract with them, giving them permission to be on our property.
Make a motion that would give Tony Brinker the permission to sign the permission slip, I guess.
The contract, yeah.
Yeah, contract, that's it.
Yep.
Okay, I'll second.
I mean, the only thing you're signing is that you can't build for 5 years, but we're not really putting my house back there anytime soon.
Do you
Just
normally
kidding.
send out the contracts that you're signing to the board so we can review it or anything like that?
I can in the future if you want.
If you could,
Okay.
I'd like to see that.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, moving on to the propane pre-buy. I know this is something that we have to do every year.
Yep. This year the price is $1.79, which is even cheaper than it's been in the past. So I would definitely recommend that we go ahead and purchase our, I think it's 5,000 gallons of propane that gets us through the winter months.
That's for the nature center and,
It's for the nature center.
okay.
The beach doesn't have any
I wasn't
warmth.
sure if it was for like some other garages or anything.
No, unfortunately, they're all cold.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion then to pre-buy the propane for this coming winter.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All right.
All in
Feeny,
favor? Oh, we're gonna do a roll, okay.
Feeny,
Yes.
Miskovich,
Yes.
Hutchins,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Grugel.
Yes. Okay, buying the propane. Moving on to public comment. Members of the public can address the board once recognized by a chairperson. Comments are limited to a maximum of 4 minutes. The board may extend this time by up to an additional 4 minutes by a majority vote. Prior to addressing the board, members of the public shall clearly state their name and address for the record. Public comment. Mr. Dawes.
Did you pass out my letter?
I did not. It's right here. I'll do it right now.
Basically, what this is a park improvement plan. We have this great asset, John Love, 200 North Saginaw, Holly. The thing that bothers me about the fact is that we have this great asset and it's not managed in a way that people know about it. I've talked to many people who said, oh, we have a nature center, we have a headquarters, and the entrance to the park just looks dingy. The mailbox is falling apart. The numbers for the address of the street are worn and peeling off. And I've talked about the trailer, and then we have that neighbor that likes to put the decorations on the fence. It just looks tacky, and that's a bad image for the community. So that's one of my concerns, to fix that for a starting point. What I have on this list is, identify that we have a park headquarters. You go in there, you don't even know what's back there. And on the trail signs, I walked out today to the overlook. When I got there, it took me about 20 minutes to get out there, 25 minutes to get out there. If I didn't know where it was, I never would have found it. The trails have been obliterated. You're doing all of this thing for this activity, but the trail to the overlook, you'd get lost. I got lost even coming back, only because I was very attentive at looking at the layout of the ground. Was I able to, and I kind of was a little familiar with it, I was able to walk back. If I hadn't, I never would have made it back. When I got there, I had brought some hand pruners, so I cut back the thorns and everything that were coming over the railing, and on the entrance, they would have been, if there were more than 2 people walking up there, they would have been in the thorns. That's a great asset, but people don't even know about it. So there needs to be something done to improve that part of the thing. Update the trail signs. There aren't signs. I don't know if have you ever walked back there? I don't know. Well, when? Years ago, or don't try it now. And have the other thing I'd like to do is set up a mailbox that has some information about the park, so you could read it and find out that there's a slide and a few other things, or whatever you want to do, so you at least know what's there.
What do
On
you
the
mean?
nature center, isn't there an information box with maps and whatnot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you find the nature center,
Okay.
it should be something at the entrance, and you just have a folder that has these trails on it. But you can't, if you wanted to go to that overlook, don't do it alone or with somebody that is inexperienced. Because the trails have been cut over. They're doing all this too, new work back there too, so that kind of confuses it as well. Put down the hours and list what the features are of these different parks that we do have. And then we could also do something to tell people about the Heritage Farm. Although it's looking pretty dingy because it needs a paint job on the buildings that are there. I don't know what the status is of the barn door, but we can't even fix it temporarily, so it doesn't look like it's some hillbilly operation. And then the other thing is that there's several river access points. There's one on Fish Lake Road and another one, there's a bridge by Academy. So if we could list these things so people would know these are other opportunities for them to access the river. And then I gave you the map that shows the state land that they own and the county parks that are here, the village parks. And there's many nature areas around here that are owned by different nonprofits that have bought these places or had them donated, like the one over in Fenton that is adjacent to this that people don't even know about these. So here's a list of things that we could focus on. They're assets that we have, but they're not being presented in a way that the community knows about them. So that's my ask you to work on these to upgrade the things that we have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any more public comment?
Good luck on your new job.
Jake?
List your name and address.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please.
Jacob Crevier, 507 Ash Street. I just had a few questions. Are we allowed to ask questions instead of just straight comments? Or it's not like an interrogation or nothing, I promise.
How do you spell your last name?
C-R-E, V as in Victor, I-E-R. But I just had some questions. Mr. Feeney, you were the one who got the tech guy in today, right?
Yes.
Just wanted to make sure. He kind of bugged out before I could ask him. But the website thing sounds great. Did he give you like a high-end estimate at all? Like any numbers at all?
No, at the time I hadn't gotten anything because you basically told me, you know, it's like what you want. When you were saying the template, you know, that would be the price. Now, you know, so if you want to go forward, when George and I looked at it, it was kind of one of those things, you know, you tell me you want to go forward, I can tell you, know, give you some rough ideas of that. But,
Yeah, yeah. And then
no exact figures on it, though.
Alrighty, and then have you talked to? Well, you said you talked to Mr. Cullis. Have you considered like talking to the village or maybe like the township library too, to see if you can get like if you give them a decent chunk of contracts?
I'll give you a little background.
You know?
The reason why this person with this company happened to come up was someone that I knew from years ago found out they worked for it, and they asked me where I lived, and I said Holly, and they told me they worked for a company who had done for the village, done a presentation. They had done a presentation for the township about 5 years ago, and so there has been some presentations made. So they were familiar with us, and that's why I thought, well, you know, you're somewhat familiar with the area, you know what we're kind of looking at. So wasn't the only, you know, I don't want anybody to think that's the only company that, you know, if anybody else can come up with someone else, but that was my thinking behind it. And the fact was that they were familiar with us, so I thought that was half the battle there. They kind of had an idea behind it. So.
Alrighty, I understand. I was just wondering, because I know sometimes if you get like bundle deals, if you can bring multiple business contracts forward, they might even give you guys some referral stuff, because I know you're just like the Parks Board in charge of just the township parks.
Right.
But any little extra discounts you guys can get and help them figure out their tech mess too would be wonderful.
Right.
Because the websites are just awful, like broken links, all kinds of other stuff. But the second thing I had was about the post holes for the golf, the disc golf. You were saying that they were estimating they would get one done a week over a course of 18 weeks?
No, that was the baskets.
That was the baskets. Yeah, that's why I meant the baskets, sorry.
And I said, I'm going to guess they're going to do more.
Yeah, and they got to be concreted in, like dug
Mhm.
into the ground.
Mhm.
I just wanted to say it's just something I caught as I was listening. I used to do a lot of concrete work. My stepdad owned a concrete company. He had me working from when I was like 13, 14 for the next 5 or 6 years. If they're doing it over the winter, I don't know how they plan on doing it. If they plan on using heavy machinery or digging
No.
by hand, they don't.
They'll dig them by hand.
They'll dig them by hand. I just wanted to say, like, I know these guys are probably like good because you contracted with them and they seem to do good business. But that 18-week estimate, if it starts even like today and it drags out, don't expect it to be done in 18 weeks.
No, they'll have it.
Especially with the Michigan weather, it's going to take.
Yeah, I suspect it'll be done much faster than that, but and they're volunteers.
Oh, that's wonderful. Then I guess, but I just want to make sure for like planning ahead, if any like advertising for any of that comes forward, just to kind of like, not count the chickens before they hatch thing. But that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any more public comment? No. Okay. We're going to move on to the board comments, and we'll start off with Mr. Hutchins.
Just the rocks for the village. It's, like I say, it's all about parks. It's in-kind service, so yeah, we get rid of some big rocks. It might open up a new venue for the sled. Get rid of them.
Mr. Feeney?
Okay, let's see. On holidays, I just want to invite everybody at 8 o'clock in front of Township Hall. We are going to have a ceremony honoring first responders and a memorial for 9/11. And I also just want to pass along, anybody that would like to come along, we have 30 pies for pie eating contest in Crable Park starting at 1 o'clock. So, no, I wanted to do strawberry, but, or blueberry, but they told me too much staining. So it's just apple pies. So I hope we can see everybody out for that.
Any extras, bring them out to the park. I'll eat them.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say, just so nobody, the presentation you saw tonight, the big thing that caught my eye as I was telling Jacob there is the fact that, they had been out before and they had made proposals before. Wasn't, anybody can come across anybody else that does that. I kind of like the idea from their background is they do governmental ones. So that was kind of the other thing too, is that, there aren't a lot of places that do that strictly. But, I didn't want anybody to think I was pushing on one particular one, but, the fact was on that. I do believe it's important for us to upgrade it because we do have an issue in this area of getting information out. We really don't have any publications that will present us out there. We don't have anything really online, so we really have to promote ourselves. And we also realize that we have limited resources with individuals working for parks. So as easy as and the less work we can make, putting something online, is important. Other than that, I hope to see everybody on Saturday.
Kathleen?
I don't have anything. Tony, I guess I just wanted to say a quick thank you for another successful year at the beach. I think it went well overall that I've heard about, and a lot of people got to enjoy. So thanks for getting all that done. Thanks for getting all the disc golf and everything else. You're doing a good job.
Donna?
I'd like to welcome a new member. I hope you don't get sorry. And I'd like to thank everybody for coming out to that party and for the staff and volunteers that were really nice and had a really great time. It's nice seeing everybody out there. And I'll see y'all on Saturday.
I'm going to jump before you, Kurt, because I want to welcome you as well. Listening to you tonight, I can tell you're going to be a great addition to this board, and I appreciate you raising the questions that you did and pointing different things out that I may have missed. So welcome, number one. Number two, I want to inform the board and Tony and the internet audience that I will not be here in October. I will be out of town. I'll be heading to Alabama to go visit my folks. 2 years not seeing them because of COVID, so finally going to get to see them. I really want to thank the staff and the volunteers for this year at the beach. And thank you for everyone for the staff and volunteer appreciation lunch. I would have liked to see more of the staff and volunteers there, but it is what it is, you know. I hope they had fun, and I hope they come back next year. And with that, Kurt?
I've had a couple meetings with Tony and Donna. We discussed a few things, trying to get some ideas for upcoming things we could do to improve the parks and stuff like that. Trying to see if there's anything else. Try to pick up as much as I can in as short a period of time as I can going through this stuff. So I'm trying to, you know, add my expertise as much as I can and point out as much as I can. So really appreciate everybody here and look forward to working together with everybody.
Thank you for
Thank
stepping
you.
up.
Okay, with that, we're going to move on to the director's comments.
Oh, that'd be me, right? I just want to thank you guys for the party. The staff that was there had a lot of fun. Those that weren't there appreciated the card and gift. Let you guys know that the beach is officially, other than we have to turn off the water, closed for the winter. We finished that up yesterday. I did cut my finger underwater, and I said to myself as I did it, oh, look, no piranhas or sharks. I'm lucky. Anyways, I did replace the buoy that floats underwater that we hook the raft to and that connects down to the thing down below. I did not realize, because I haven't been the person diving, that it was actually tied on by a rope that was decaying rather fast. It's now a stainless steel cable attached to the stainless steel cable that's down below, attached to the new buoy that Joe had made me probably a couple years ago. And it's a little lower in the water than it was originally. The first one had been hit by boats, you could see. But obviously that kind of depends on the water level in the park. This year's been a crazy year down there as far as water level. There was a piece of property down there. I started calling it my rice paddy. I hadn't mowed it for over a month and a half due to water. I could have probably baled it for hay, maybe. Anyways, my staff has been great. Unfortunately, every one of them is leaving as of Friday, or Saturday will be the last day. So,
Does that include our maintenance guy?
yeah. So I have someone else who's going to come in part-time that I hired the other day for maintenance to come in and help. These disc guys, we really owe them some big thanks. They have worked their butts off. I have been, Joe got the tractor running, got it running really well. It actually, I ran it for 4 hours yesterday without it, before it started to overheat or get too hot, which is like a long time. It had been like 30 minutes. So I have been hauling wood chips back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I go like this now because that tractor. But I still have a bunch to finish for them. And they're very appreciative of the fact that I'm hauling these wood chips, because otherwise it wouldn't be done. But we are going to have some, we do have some things. I guess that's it.
Okay. Well, the time is now 8:35, and I hereby adjourn this meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Gonna use the gavel?
Oh, yeah.
Come on.